Have you ever felt the sting of public disrespect? That awkward, sinking feeling when a tactless remark lands in a room full of people aimed squarely at you? Perhaps it was a sarcastic comment disguised as humor, an undermining action delivered with a smile, or a blatant disregard for your contributions. In these moments, the question that often plagues us is, how should I respond? How do we navigate these challenging situations not only to maintain our dignity, but also to earn respect, even from those who seem to habitually devalue others? You're certainly not alone in experiencing this. These are universal human experiences etched into the tapestry of our social interactions. The fascinating and empowering truth is that you possess far more control over these situations than you might initially believe. This essay, interwoven with video content that illustrates these principles in action, delves into effective strategies and psychological techniques, deeply rooted in the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, to help you navigate disrespect. These aren't just tips for damage control. They're tools for cultivating a deep sense of self-worth and commanding respect from those around you. We'll explore practical, actionable techniques for transforming uncomfortable moments into opportunities to assert your value, set healthy boundaries, and ultimately, live a more fulfilling life. Before diving into the how, it's crucial to understand the why. Why do these situations arise? Why do some people seem to thrive on diminishing others? The common misconception is that these behaviors stem from personal animosity or deep-seated hatred. While that may be true in some rare cases, the reality is often more nuanced. More often than not, disrespectful behavior is rooted in opportunism and insecurity. It's a misguided attempt by individuals to elevate themselves by making others appear weaker or less valuable. They mistakenly believe that by diminishing your contributions, they can shine brighter in comparison. This behavior is insidious, permeating not just workplaces, but also social circles, family dynamics, and even seemingly casual interactions. Understanding this motivation is the first step towards developing an effective response. It allows you to detach from the personal sting and see the behavior for what it is, a reflection of the other person's internal state, rather than a true assessment of your worth. The core of our approach lies in the profound teachings of Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes virtue, reason, and self-control as the path to happiness. Stoicism offers a radical redefinition of respect. It's not something to be demanded or imposed upon others through aggression or manipulation. Instead, it's cultivated from within, stemming from how you conduct yourself, how you build and maintain boundaries, and how you project your inherent self-worth. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius articulated this beautifully when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In moments of disrespect, your calm, your clarity, and your unwavering confidence become your most potent weapons. However, handling unpleasant situations is only part of the equation. The ultimate goal is to create an environment where respect for you becomes the norm, a fundamental expectation in all your interactions. This means ensuring that no one sees you as an easy target, a stepping stone to boost their own image, or someone whose boundaries can be easily violated. You need to demonstrate, through your words, actions, and overall demeanor, that you are aware of your value and will not be shaken by cheap remarks, undermining actions, or attempts to diminish your contributions. This isn't about arrogance or self-importance. It's about self-respect and a deep understanding of your own worth. The following sections will explore practical strategies for applying Stoic principles in everyday life, providing you with the tools to stand your ground in any situation. These seemingly small but powerful techniques will empower you to navigate disrespect with grace, maintain your composure, and ultimately command the respect you deserve. If you've ever felt unbalanced, belittled, or undervalued by others, remember this. Respect isn't earned through aggressive comebacks or retaliatory actions. It's cultivated through the steadfastness of your self-control, the clarity of your communication, and the unwavering conviction of your own inherent worth. Now, let's delve into the practical solutions and unlock the power to handle disrespect with grace, strength, and unwavering self-assurance. We will analyze 5 key strategies supported by the tenets of Stoicism and offer concrete examples of how you can implement them in your own life. These include the importance of first impressions, setting the stage for respectful interactions, handling interruptions with authority, reclaiming your voice and commanding attention, defusing humiliating jokes, maintaining composure and shifting the dynamic, provocation diversion, redirection techniques to disarm insults, the power of walking away, protecting your self-respect by setting boundaries. This essay is more than just a collection of tips and techniques. It's a journey into the heart of Stoic philosophy and a practical guide for cultivating a life of self-respect, resilience, and unwavering inner strength. By embracing these principles, you can transform your interactions, command the respect you deserve, and live a life aligned with your values. Body. Section 1. First impressions, the foundation of respect. First impressions are far more powerful than we often realize. They serve as the foundational bedrock upon which all subsequent interactions are built. Interestingly, the impact of a first impression is often less about the specific words you use and more about the nonverbal cues you project, your body language, your tone of voice, and your overall demeanor. These subtle signals communicate volumes, shaping how others perceive your confidence, competence, and self-worth. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for cultivating an environment of respect from the very beginning. Imagine a scenario. You're at an important networking event, a place brimming with potential connections and career opportunities. As you scan the room, you notice someone entering the space. They pause momentarily, their eyes sweeping across the crowd, and then confidently begin to make their way towards you. They extend their hand in a gesture of greeting. Now, consider 2 contrasting responses. In the first scenario, you remain seated, offering a quick, almost dismissive glance at their outstretched hand before shaking it. What message have you unintentionally conveyed? Subconsciously, you've signaled a lack of engagement, a disinterest in the interaction, and perhaps even a subtle sense of superiority. This small action can have a disproportionately large impact on how the other person perceives you, potentially undermining your credibility and creating an unspoken barrier to a meaningful connection. Contrast this with a second scenario. As the person approaches, you rise to your feet, meet their gaze with genuine warmth, and extend your hand with a firm, confident grip. You offer a genuine smile and engage in brief, polite conversation. In this instance, you've communicated respect, attentiveness, and a willingness to connect on an equal footing. These subtle cues create a positive first impression, signaling that you value the interaction and are confident in your own worth. The Stoics, masters of self-awareness and intentional living, understood the profound impact of these seemingly minor details. They recognized that simple gestures, such as standing up to greet someone or maintaining consistent eye contact, are not merely social niceties. They are powerful expressions of inner confidence and self-respect. When you rise to shake someone's hand, you are subtly but powerfully communicating equality, readiness, and mutual respect. This aligns perfectly with a core Stoic principle. Your external presentation is a reflection of your internal values. How you present yourself to the world shapes how the world perceives you. Therefore, by consciously cultivating these positive nonverbal cues, you can proactively influence the dynamic of your interactions and set the stage for respectful communication. To further illustrate this point, consider the following anecdote. I once attended a professional seminar where networking was the primary objective. The room was filled with individuals eager to make connections and advance their careers. Among the attendees, one person stood out. Regardless of whether they were greeting a senior executive, engaging in a casual conversation with a peer, or thanking a waiter for refilling their coffee, they consistently exhibited the same level of respect and attentiveness. They always stood up to greet the person, made direct eye contact, and engaged fully in the conversation. Their demeanor was not flashy or ostentatious. It was simply genuine and sincere. The impact was palpable. People gravitated towards this individual, drawn to their air of quiet confidence and genuine respect. They commanded respect effortlessly, not through aggressive tactics or overt displays of power, but through the consistent application of simple, respectful gestures. In stark contrast, I observed another attendee who remained seated during every greeting. It wasn't intentional. It was simply a deeply ingrained habit. However, this seemingly minor action created an unspoken barrier. People unconsciously took them less seriously, perceiving them as less engaged and perhaps even slightly arrogant. Even though this individual was just as capable and knowledgeable as anyone else in the room, their passive body language undermined their credibility and hindered their ability to form meaningful connections. This highlighted an essential truth. Standing up to greet someone is not merely about adhering to social etiquette. It's about acknowledging the other person's inherent value and asserting your own. The lesson is clear. Rising to greet someone is not just an act of courtesy. It's a declaration of how you value yourself and others. It's a nonverbal communication that signals confidence, respect, and a willingness to engage on an equal footing. Failing to do so can inadvertently project an image of disinterest, arrogance, or even insecurity, undermining your credibility and hindering your ability to build meaningful connections. Here's where the wisdom of Stoicism becomes particularly relevant. The Stoics understood that we cannot control external events or other people's actions. However, we have absolute control over our own responses and our own behaviors. They emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can influence, maximizing our impact within the sphere of our control. In the context of first impressions, this means consciously cultivating positive nonverbal cues and presenting ourselves in a way that reflects our values and projects our inherent worth. To practically adopt this lesson into your daily life, begin by focusing on your everyday encounters. Whether you're meeting someone in the office, grabbing coffee at a cafe, or participating in a virtual meeting, make a conscious effort to be fully present in the moment. Stand up when greeting someone. Maintain consistent eye contact and project confidence through your body language. Small gestures, such as a genuine smile or a firm handshake, can also make a significant difference. These simple actions not only earn you respect from others, but also reinforce your own sense of self-worth, a direct reflection of core Stoic principles in action. Remember, first impressions are not just about superficial appearances. They are about showcasing your inner confidence, your deep self-respect, and the genuine respect you hold for others. This embodies the essence of what Stoicism teaches us: to live with intention, to pay attention to the small details, and to let our actions define who we are. So, the next time you meet someone, rise to the occasion, look them in the eye, and let your actions speak louder than your words. By consciously cultivating these positive nonverbal cues, you can create a powerful first impression that commands respect and sets the stage for meaningful and fulfilling interactions. This initial interaction sets the tone for the entire relationship. It serves as a template for how others will perceive and interact with you moving forward. Therefore, it is crucial to be mindful of the signals you are sending and to ensure that they accurately reflect your inner values and your inherent self-worth. By embracing this approach, you can transform your first impressions from mere chance encounters into powerful opportunities to cultivate respect, build meaningful connections, and live a life aligned with your values. Section 2. Handling interruptions with authority. Imagine this scenario. You're engaged in a conversation, perhaps sharing an important idea or recounting a compelling story. You're building momentum, carefully crafting your words to convey your message effectively. Suddenly, someone interrupts you, cutting you off mid-sentence and derailing your train of thought. The interruption can feel jarring, frustrating, and even disrespectful. The natural human reaction is to become annoyed, angry, or even defensive. However, reacting impulsively can often escalate the situation, making you appear less composed and undermining your credibility. So, what is the most effective way to handle this situation? This is where the wisdom of Stoic philosophy provides invaluable guidance. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies not in controlling external events or other people's actions, but in controlling our own reactions. In the context of an interruption, this means resisting the urge to respond impulsively and instead choosing a response that is both assertive and composed. One of the most powerful tools in your arsenal is a simple, steady gaze. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, pause briefly. Turn your attention to the person who interrupted you and look them directly in the eye with a calm, yet focused gaze. Let the silence speak volumes. This nonverbal communication signals that you are aware of the interruption, that you find the behavior inappropriate, and that you will not tolerate being disrespected. The power of this approach lies in its subtlety. It doesn't involve raising your voice, engaging in a heated argument, or resorting to aggressive tactics. Instead, it relies on the power of nonverbal communication to convey your message effectively. The calm, focused gaze conveys confidence, self-assurance, and a clear message that you are not someone to be easily dismissed. The effect of this simple technique can be surprisingly powerful. By maintaining your composure and refusing to react impulsively, you force the other person to confront their own behavior. They're likely to become aware of the inappropriate nature of their interruption and may even feel a sense of embarrassment or remorse. In many cases, the person will quickly apologize and allow you to continue speaking. To illustrate the effectiveness of this strategy, consider the following personal anecdote. I was once at a family dinner sharing a funny story about a recent experience. As I was building towards the punchline, a relative interrupted me to share a story of their own. Initially, I felt a wave of frustration and awkwardness wash over me. My immediate instinct was to interrupt them in turn or to assert my right to finish my story. However, I consciously resisted this urge and instead recalled a core Stoic principle: to control my emotions and respond with reason rather than reactivity. I paused briefly, turned to the relative who had interrupted me, and looked them directly in the eye with a calm, steady gaze. I didn't say a word. The silence lasted for only a few seconds, but it felt much longer. In that brief moment, the relative seemed to recognize the inappropriate nature of their interruption. They quickly corrected themselves, apologized for interrupting, and politely asked me to continue my story. The rest of the evening proceeded smoothly. I was able to regain control of the conversation without resorting to any drama or confrontation. The experience reinforced the power of a calm, assertive response in handling disrespectful behavior. By maintaining my composure and refusing to react impulsively, I was able to navigate a potentially awkward situation with grace and confidence. This strategy works particularly well in public or group settings. By remaining composed and in control, you naturally draw attention to yourself. Your presence becomes stronger, and you command respect without having to raise your voice or engage in a contentious argument. Stoicism teaches us not to let other people's actions dictate our emotions. Instead, we should use tools like body language and calmness to steer the situation in a positive direction, without losing our dignity or compromising our values. However, the steady gaze is only the beginning. Once the interruption has been addressed non-verbally, it's important to reclaim your voice and reassert your right to speak. You can do this politely but firmly using a simple phrase such as, "Let me pick up where I left off." This phrase not only asserts your right to speak, but also maintains respect for everyone involved. Remember, the goal is not to embarrass the other person or to engage in a power struggle. The goal is to set a clear expectation that respectful communication is non-negotiable. You're asserting your right to be heard, while also demonstrating respect for the other person's right to speak in turn. What's remarkable about this approach is that it requires no aggression, no intimidation, and no manipulation. It simply requires you to remain calm, avoid showing anger, and allow your actions to speak volumes. When others see you handle interruptions with confidence and intention, they will not only respect you more, but will also be more likely to reflect on their own behavior. They will recognize that you are someone who values respectful communication and who will not tolerate being dismissed or ignored. Stoicism reminds us that true power lies in maintaining self-control, even in challenging moments. By mastering your emotions and responding with reason, you can navigate disrespectful situations with grace and confidence. So, the next time someone interrupts you, resist the urge to react impulsively. Instead, stand firm, hold your gaze, and show others that you are someone worth listening to. This isn't just about earning respect. It's about expressing your self-worth in a way that is both meaningful and lasting. It is about demonstrating that you value yourself and that you expect to be treated with the same respect that you extend to others. By embracing this approach, you can transform interruptions from frustrating setbacks into opportunities to assert your value and command the respect you deserve. Section 3. Defusing humiliating jokes. Picture this scenario. You're enjoying a casual gathering with a group of friends. The atmosphere is relaxed and jovial, filled with laughter and lighthearted conversation. Suddenly, one of your friends decides to recount an embarrassing story from your past, intending to mock you in front of everyone. The story may involve a silly mistake you made, an awkward social situation, or a personal vulnerability that you had previously shared in confidence. Regardless of the specifics, the intention is clear: to make you the target of ridicule and to elicit laughter at your expense. In that moment, your first instinct might be to feel embarrassed, angry, or even deeply hurt. You may feel a surge of adrenaline, a desire to defend yourself, or a strong urge to retaliate with a witty comeback. However, the way you choose to respond in that moment will determine the entire dynamic of the situation and will have a significant impact on how others perceive you. Reacting impulsively with anger or defensiveness may only serve to amplify the humiliation and reinforce the perception that you are easily rattled. This is where Stoic philosophy can be an incredibly powerful tool, helping you to stay calm, take control of the situation, and defuse the tension without compromising your dignity or resorting to retaliatory tactics. The Stoics emphasize the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is outside of our control. We cannot control other people's actions or their intentions. However, we have absolute control over our own responses and our own emotions. In the context of a humiliating joke, this means refusing to let the other person dictate your emotional state. You have the power to choose how you will respond and to control your own reaction. Instead of allowing yourself to be consumed by embarrassment or anger, you can choose to remain calm, maintain your composure, and respond in a way that asserts your self-worth without escalating the conflict. To illustrate this approach, consider the following anecdote. I was once at a casual meetup with a group of old friends. As we were reminiscing about our school days, one of my friends decided to recount an embarrassing story about me, intending to mock me in front of everyone. The story involved a particularly awkward incident during a school dance, where I had tripped and fallen in front of my crush. At first, I felt my face heat up with embarrassment. My immediate reaction was to fire back with a witty retort, or to defend myself by downplaying the significance of the incident. However, before I could react, I consciously paused and recalled a fundamental Stoic principle: what doesn't harm your essence isn't worth your concern. This principle reminded me that the embarrassing story, while perhaps uncomfortable, did not diminish my inherent worth or compromise my character. It was merely a fleeting moment in the past, and it did not define who I was as a person. With this Stoic principle in mind, I smiled, pretended not to have heard the story, and calmly asked my friend to repeat it. I maintained a composed and slightly curious demeanor, as if I was genuinely interested in hearing the story again. This simple action had a surprisingly powerful effect. When my friend had to retell the joke, its impact was significantly diminished. The initial burst of laughter and excitement faded away, replaced by a palpable sense of awkwardness. The group started to sense that the joke was not landing well anymore, and the storyteller began to fumble, realizing that their attempt at humiliation had backfired. The key here is that asking someone to repeat their joke not only reduces its impact, but also subtly highlights the inappropriateness of their behavior. It demonstrates that you are unshaken by their attempt to mock you and that you are not afraid to confront them directly. This approach allows you to maintain your composure, project an air of confidence, and shift the dynamic in your favor, all without resorting to retaliatory tactics or losing your dignity. By choosing this path, you send a powerful message to everyone present. You are someone with inner strength and self-assurance, someone who will not let small provocations dictate your emotions or undermine your self-worth. This embodies one of the core lessons of Stoic philosophy. Maintaining calm and control in the face of minor life challenges is a testament to your character and your inner values. So, how can you apply this principle effectively in your own life? First, remember that you do not need to react instantly to every action or word. Pause, take a deep breath, and think before you respond. Second, use silence as a powerful weapon. Silence is not passive. It creates space for the other person to realize their mistake and to reconsider their behavior. Finally, when you do respond, do it with calm confidence. A simple request for them to repeat what they said, spoken in a neutral tone, can have far more impact than arguing or fighting back. Stoicism teaches us that our reactions to uncomfortable situations are a reflection of our character and our inner values. Every time you stay calm, refuse to be drawn into negativity, and respond with reason and self-control, you not only gain the respect of others, but also reinforce your own self-respect. You are demonstrating that you are someone who values dignity, integrity, and emotional resilience. So, the next time someone tries to mock you in front of others, remember that you have complete control over how the story ends. With calmness, clarity, and a deep understanding of your own self-worth, you will always come out on top. Section 4. Provocation diversion. Redirection techniques to disarm insults. Have you ever been in a situation where someone deliberately tries to provoke you, to push your buttons, or to inflict emotional pain? Perhaps with a family member who constantly criticizes your choices, a colleague who undermines your work, or a stranger who hurls insults your way. In these moments, it's easy to get drawn into a conflict, to react defensively, or to lash out in anger. However, these reactions often only serve to escalate the situation and to give the other person exactly what they want, a reaction. Instead of falling into this trap, you can employ a powerful psychological technique rooted in Stoic principles, provocation diversion. This technique involves redirecting the conversation, shifting the focus away from the provocation and onto a neutral or unrelated topic. By doing so, you disarm the instigator, reclaim control of the situation, and protect your own emotional well-being. Imagine this scenario. You're at a family gathering, and an uncle, known for his tactless remarks, makes a pointed comment about a perceived failure in your career in front of everyone. It's the kind of comment that feels like a dagger to your heart, digging into a pain you've been trying to move past. Suddenly, all eyes are on you, waiting to see how you'll respond. In that moment, instead of reacting defensively, trying to explain yourself, or lashing out in anger, you take a brief pause, stay calm, and ask, "Hey, does anyone know a good bakery nearby? I was thinking about picking up something for the next get-together." That simple question instantly changes the energy in the room. The person trying to provoke you is left flustered, unsure of how to proceed. The conversation quickly shifts to a new, more neutral topic, such as the best bakeries in town or the menu for the next family gathering. You have not only avoided escalating the situation, but have also turned an uncomfortable moment into one that works in your favor. This strategy of asking an unrelated question is more than just a clever tactic. It's a way of reclaiming control over your emotions and the situation. By interrupting the flow of provocation, you redirect attention away from the negative energy and refuse to give the instigator the satisfaction of seeing you upset. This technique is a perfect example of practicing Stoic principles, focusing on what you can control and refusing to let external circumstances dictate your peace of mind. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The brilliance of this technique lies in its ability to derail negativity without confrontation. A well-timed, unrelated question disrupts the instigator's train of thought, making it nearly impossible for them to continue their attempt to provoke you. At the same time, it allows you to maintain your composure and project a sense of confidence and self-control. This is a powerful way to command respect in any social situation. By refusing to engage in the other person's game, you demonstrate that you are not easily manipulated and that you value your own emotional well-being. To make this approach work effectively, it's essential to keep your tone and demeanor natural. If it seems forced or calculated, it might come across as insincere or even condescending. Choose a simple, neutral question or comment that feels organic to the moment. Something about a nearby restaurant, a recent event, or even a casual observation about the weather can work well. The goal is not to dodge the situation awkwardly, but to shift the conversation with subtlety and ease. This technique doesn't just work in a moment. It builds long-term resilience and inner strength. By refusing to be dragged into emotional conflicts, you demonstrate to yourself and others that you are in control of your own emotions and that you will not be easily provoked. People around you will notice this composure and come to respect you for it. More importantly, using this strategy is a step toward cultivating the core Stoic value of focusing on what you can control. You cannot dictate how others behave, but you can decide how you respond. In doing so, you reinforce your sense of self-worth and send a clear message that you will not allow others to undermine your peace or dignity. The next time you find yourself in a situation where someone's words are aimed to provoke or hurt, remember this approach. Ask a simple, unrelated question and observe how the dynamic changes. You'll not only diffuse the tension, but also feel empowered by your ability to rise above it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, true power comes from maintaining peace of mind, regardless of external circumstances. By mastering this technique, you'll not only handle challenging situations with grace, but also elevate the respect others have for you in any situation. Section 5. The power of walking away. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt undervalued, disrespected, or even completely ignored? Perhaps you were working on a project where your contributions were consistently overlooked, or engaging in a relationship where your needs were never met. It's not a pleasant feeling, but sometimes the best way to protect your self-respect and maintain your emotional well-being is to choose to walk away. Stoic philosophy teaches us that respect isn't something you can demand or force upon others. It's something you cultivate by knowing your own worth and setting clear boundaries. Sometimes, walking away isn't a sign of weakness or failure. It's a powerful demonstration of strength and self-worth. It signifies that you value yourself enough to remove yourself from situations that are detrimental to your emotional and mental well-being. To illustrate this point, let me share a story with you. A friend of mine, Sarah, was an exceptionally talented creative professional. She had a passion for her work, a strong work ethic, and a knack for innovation. One day, she joined a major project at her company, eager to contribute her skills and expertise. However, instead of being recognized and appreciated for her relentless efforts, she was constantly ridiculed and undermined by her manager in front of the team. Her manager would interrupt her during meetings, dismiss her ideas without consideration, and make her feel as if her contributions were insignificant. At first, Sarah tried harder, believing that she needed to prove herself and earn her manager's respect. She worked long hours, went above and beyond her responsibilities, and diligently addressed every criticism that was leveled against her. However, despite her best efforts, the situation only worsened. Her manager continued to belittle her, and the work environment became increasingly toxic and demoralizing. After months of frustration, Sarah realized that she didn't need to beg for respect from people who were unwilling to give it. She came to the realization that her worth was not contingent upon the approval or validation of others. This shift in perspective was a pivotal moment for her. She understood that she had the power to choose her own path and to prioritize her own well-being. One day, during a pivotal meeting, Sarah presented a carefully researched and well-articulated proposal. However, her manager brushed it aside without even considering its merits. This time, instead of feeling defeated or discouraged, Sarah experienced a sense of clarity and resolve. She calmly closed her laptop, stood up, and announced that she would put her energy into a place where it was valued. She then walked out of the meeting, leaving her colleagues stunned and her manager speechless. That same day, Sarah submitted her resignation. She did not do so out of anger or spite, but as an act of self-preservation. She recognized that staying in a disrespectful and toxic environment would only continue to erode her self-esteem and hinder her professional growth. A few months later, Sarah joined another company in a leadership role. In this new environment, she was not only respected, but also celebrated for her talents and contributions. She thrived in her new role, and her career flourished. Sarah's story isn't just about leaving a job. It's about choosing where to invest your energy. It's about recognizing your own worth and refusing to tolerate situations that undermine it. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness or a failure to persevere. On the contrary, it demonstrates that you understand your value and refuse to remain in an environment that diminishes it. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the only thing we can truly control is how we respond to situations. While you can't force others to respect you, you can decide not to remain in a place where respect is absent. You can choose to remove yourself from situations that are harmful to your well-being and to seek out environments where you are valued and appreciated. The most powerful part of walking away is that it's not about creating drama or proving a point to others. It's a personal decision, quiet but resolute. It's a way of telling yourself, I am worth more than this. It's an affirmation of your self-worth and a declaration that you deserve to be treated with respect. Marcus Aurelius emphasized, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Staying in a disrespectful environment is choosing to let others diminish your value and undermine your self-esteem. It's a decision that can have a profound and lasting impact on your emotional and mental well-being. So, how do you know when it's time to walk away? It's when you realize that all your efforts to build respect have been met with indifference or resistance. It's when you feel that you're constantly fighting to be recognized or valued. It's when the emotional toll of staying in the situation outweighs the potential benefits. Don't wait until your self-esteem has been completely eroded. Listen to yourself, trust your instincts, and, if necessary, choose to leave. Remember that being an absence that's respected is far better than being a presence that's diminished. Walking away is not about surrendering or giving up. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your own well-being. Stoic philosophy teaches us not only to control our emotions, but also to safeguard our sense of worth. The next time you find yourself being devalued, disrespected, or ignored, remember that sometimes the most respectful action you can take is to leave the table where your worth isn't recognized. Respect isn't begged for. It's built by how you decide to treat yourself. Conclusion. In conclusion, navigating a world that often throws disrespect our way requires a proactive and principled approach. The Stoic philosophy offers a powerful framework for not only handling these situations with grace and composure, but also cultivating a deeper sense of self-worth that commands respect from others. We explored 5 key strategies: mastering first impressions to set a foundation of respect, handling interruptions with authority to reclaim your voice, defusing humiliating jokes with calmness, employing provocation diversion techniques to disarm insults, and ultimately, recognizing the power of walking away when your worth is consistently undervalued. These techniques, while seemingly simple, are rooted in a profound understanding of human psychology and the importance of self-control. They empower you to take charge of your interactions, set healthy boundaries, and project an unwavering sense of self-respect. The core message is this: you cannot control the actions of others, but you can absolutely control your reactions. By mastering your emotions, cultivating inner strength, and consistently demonstrating your self-worth, you can transform disrespectful encounters into opportunities for growth and empowerment. Remember, respect isn't something to be demanded. It's something earned through your actions, your words, and your overall demeanor. By embracing the Stoic principles outlined in this essay, you can create an environment where respect for you becomes the norm, a fundamental expectation in all your interactions. The journey to self-respect is an ongoing process, a continuous cultivation of inner strength and unwavering self-belief. Embrace the challenges, learn from your experiences, and never underestimate the power of your own inherent worth.